When is the best time to transition from residential property into commercial investment properties? Now, with my investment strategy, it is all about using residential properties at the start of your investment journey to build your capital base or your equity position before then transitioning into what we call evolution, which is transitioning into commercial properties. Now, I just got off a call with a client who had a $2.8 million owner-occupier property with debt on it. He also had a block of land that had nothing on it. And I essentially showed him two scenarios. I showed him a scenario where he could go down the commercial route from day dot and use the equity that he's got in the two properties to buy a commercial property. He could buy something for about $1.7 million because he'd need a 30% deposit plus costs, versus using that same amount to go down the residential investment route. He'd be able to take on more debt from the banks with that same amount of money, and he'd actually be able to buy about $2.8 to $3 million worth of residential assets with the same amount of capital. Now, the difference at face value is that the residential assets that he was going to buy, combined at $3 million, are not going to cash flow as strongly as the commercial asset would. That'd actually be cash flow negative versus the commercial asset being slightly cash flow positive. But if we removed his owner-occupier property from the situation, because the goal is to live in that owner-occupier property, decrease the debt to zero, and then have an unencumbered owner-occupier property, and just looked at his investment portfolio being the $1.4 million current investment that he had and the $1.7 million commercial he was going to buy, showed him how much longer it was going to take to get from the commercial and the resi asset into your next asset versus buying two more residential assets, so having three residential investments and getting into his fourth.